Hey everybody, Derick Van Ness here, investor, wealth strategist, and life adventurer, and I got something interesting for you today. Most people think that building a comprehensive, amazing financial strategy has to be a lot more work than not, and you would be dead wrong. Now, by the end of this video, you're going to understand what I mean, that actually building the right financial structure is less work than not building one. How's that possible? I'm going to show you. So, hang on, grab your notepad, write this down. This is something you're going to want to totally understand, and by the end of this video, you're going to get it. So, here's the reality. Like, think about your health, right? Let's just use something other than money. With your health, a lot of people are like, ooh, working out, like it's a lot of work, right? And I don't know if it's worth it. Maybe it would just be easier to sit on my couch and eat Cheetos, right? And it's true that in the very beginning, sitting on your couch eating Cheetos is it's just a little bit of work. It's easy. And working out, you gotta go to the gym, or you gotta figure out a routine, you gotta do all this stuff. So it feels like a lot more work. But here's the thing, 1, 2, 3 years down the road, the guy who's working out, the gal who's working out, they're fit, they're able to be attractive, they feel good, they're productive, they're energetic. And the person who's just sitting on the couch, they're getting overweight, their health starts to suffer, maybe they don't have much energy, they sleep a lot, and eventually being on the couch all the time works against you, right? So the same thing happens with money. In the very, very beginning, it feels like, okay, like money, to figure out money in a financial strategy, there's a huge learning curve, and that's where professionals come in. But there are huge advantages to it. So just as a quick reminder before I jump into those huge advantages, if you like this content, please subscribe to the channel. Really, really helps. Also, hit that like button, share this with people you know who could benefit from it, especially business owners, because that's who we're really designed to help. Anyway, back to the money piece, okay? So if you're in a situation where you're trying to figure out, like, how can I simplify this? How can I make it worth the effort? I got news for you. There's just a couple of key money skills that you have to figure out along the way. Now, here's the thing. Figuring out your money means you'll have more of it. And I can tell you right now, having more money and taking a little time to figure it out is a lot better than having less money and not bothering to figure it out. If you don't have money in this world, it's like suffocating. You can't do the things you want to do in your life, right? And I don't want that for you. And here's the thing, it doesn't have to be complicated. I know the people who do the stock market and the people who do gold and silver and all these other options trading and Forex and all this stuff. They want you to think it's complicated, usually because they're selling education or because they work on Wall Street and they want you to think you're not smart enough for that. Don't buy into that malarkey. You don't need to be a genius. You do have to have some basic understanding and some good skills. To go into those worlds, you kind of do, but the truth is those are not the best game for most people, right? So the skills you got to master, of course, are earning your money. You got to get good at your job. If you're not good at your job, or you don't have a good skill set, scrap everything else and focus on that. That is what makes people rich more than any other single thing. I'm going to say that again. Your job, your business, your skill set, that is going to make you more money than anything else in your life. Even becoming a great investor in the stock market, in real estate, in gold and silver, in Bitcoin, other types of trading, whatever. All of that stuff requires skill, right? So if you aren't making enough money, that's the first skill you got to master. Now, the second skill you got to master is, as I'm making money, how do I save that money more effectively, right? Now, saving sounds like a hard skill. It's not. You just put it on autopilot. If you don't have an automated saving system, you're missing the boat. It's literally the most important thing you can do. You'll hear this over and over again in my videos, but if you don't save money, you'll never have enough to invest and get working for you. So, gotta have that. And the thing about savings is it's really easy because you can automate it. You can automate it into a savings account with a sweep from your checking account. We also teach how to use life insurance to automate savings and build your money at a much, much, much higher rate, closer to what you would get in the stock market very safely. And then once you get the savings going, then you want to learn how to invest and grow that money, right? And there's a lot of ways to do that. Honestly, if you do it the way that we teach, using something called the money maximization model, you can keep your risk really low and get really nice rates of return, and then swing for the fences when the right opportunities come along, rather than having to always in and out of the market or some of these other things that do require a lot of different expertise. Now, as you grow and save this money, the next thing you're going to want to deal with is you have to deal with taxes. They say have to deal with taxes. Listen, no matter where you're at in life, you're going to have problems, right? Whether you're making just a little bit and you got to work on how to make enough, or you're making a ton and you got to deal with taxes. What I've discovered after working with thousands of business owners is money issues never go away. They don't. They change. When you're totally broke, it's about how do I pay for school? How do I pay for clothes? How do I buy food or pay my rent? And then it moves up from there to, okay, now I'm making enough to do that. Now how do I save some money, right? And then once you get the savings, how do I grow my money? How do I protect my money? How do I pay less taxes? And when you're uber wealthy, it's really about how do I pay less in taxes? How do I take my money and invest it in a way that's going to optimize for me safely? And how do I build legacy? How do I put money out there that's going to live beyond my lifetime, right? But the reality is, even the wealthiest people in the world, they have money problems. Their money problems are different than your money problems, probably. But the difference is that they have first world problems, right? So you're going to have problems with money. You're going to have to deal with money. You just want the first world kind. It's kind of like the guy who's super big and muscular and strong, who's like, well, you know, I don't have the right suntan lotion by the pool today, so that's his problem. Well, that's a problem most of us could live with, right? So what you want to do monetarily is put yourself in a position where you're not trying to get rid of the problems. You're you're continually moving up the ladder so that your problems get better. So once you get better at that investing piece, the next piece is you have to get really good at the tax piece. And listen, if you're paying more than $15,000 a year in taxes, chances are really good that it's worth it for you to have a pro. And if you have a pro and you're paying more than 15 grand in taxes, it's probably worth getting some other pro to look at it. What we've discovered is that when we look at taxes with our team, most business owners per $100,000 of income are overpaying about $11,000. So if you're making a couple $100,000, if you're typical, even with a regular CPA, people who typically have one of those, you're probably overpaying $20,000, $25,000, $30,000. That's a big swing. That's all bottom line money. That is not money that's going to be taxed. That's after tax dollars. So it's a big deal. So I would urge you, if you're paying much more than that, get another tax review. We've got people who do that kind of stuff, or get a second set of eyes on your taxes, because taxes become the biggest thing. Now, as you move up the tax ladder, those taxes get bigger and bigger and bigger. So having pros on your team who can help you to understand, how do I move my money around? How do I put it in places or invest in things that are going to give me big tax breaks? That can make a massive, massive difference. We see that for clients, sometimes saving them 6 figures or more in taxes per year. And there's a reason that the Obamas and the Trumps and the Clintons, their money, they're in like this 20 to 25% tax bracket. They're not up in that 37% plus tax bracket, right? And the reason they do is they understand this stuff. Now, here's how you make it simple. You work with pros, right? There's going to be a learning curve, but it's going to be spoon-fed to you. Your tax people are going to teach you exactly what to do and how your taxes work. Your financial people are going to teach you how to save and grow your money safely, right? If you work with pros, they're going to show you the systems that work. You still have to use your brain, but it's so much easier to use professionals once you get good at making money, and then you get to get all the benefits. It's kind of like working out, having a best friend who's a trainer who you love to hang out with. Then working out's not so hard. If you have good professionals and a good team on your side, it's actually way easier to have your financial strategy working than to just ignore it and not. Because ignoring it and not having all those pros on your team means you have to figure it out. It means you don't get as good of results. You're frustrated. You've got to learn everything through the school of hard knocks. All of this stuff, even though it's less work because you aren't having to learn as much from the pros, it's more work because you're suffering the consequences of never having that knowledge. So the best thing I could advise you to keep your finances simple is A, get really good at making money, and B, once you start making money, get professionals on your team, someone who can help you to save, grow, protect, and pay less taxes with all of that money, and then of course to build your legacy long term. Anyway, hopefully you found this interesting and useful. It's high level. If you want to know more details or you have specific questions, just drop them in the chat below. Love to answer those questions. Additionally, if you have questions or you're looking for a coordinated team, that's stuff that we help out with. Feel free to reach out to us at biglifefinancial.com. Anyway, my name's Derick Van Ness. Hope you're working with pros. If you're not, it's time to do that, whether it's us or someone else. It's going to make such a difference in your life. It's going to be a small amount more work upfront, a lot less work long-term, and your results will be through the ceiling. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you on the next video, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thank you.